Are you looking to get cashed out completely? Would you consider like seller financing? On this video, you're gonna look over my shoulder and watch me offer seller financing to a private seller on the phone live. Now I have a very unique and specific way that I make offers to sellers, which you're gonna see firsthand. All of that and more coming up.
$1 doesn't get you much these days, but for a limited time, you can get 100 seller leads for just $1 with Jerry Norton's Motivated Seller Database. Grab them now at 100sellerleads.com.
If you're new here, I'm Jerry Norton. I make millions of dollars a year wholesaling and flipping houses, and here on my YouTube channel, I show you how to do the same. So if you want to be a flipping genius like me and live your dream life, subscribe to my channel and watch my videos. Now in a minute, I'm going to cut to an 8.5-minute live call with a seller, but first, let me explain a few things that you can expect to learn from this call. First, this is an absentee owner lead. Now, an absentee owner is someone who owns a property that is not their primary residence, like someone who moved away or a landlord. In this case, the seller was an investor who purchased the property to flip, but then life got in the way and she no longer wanted to rehab it and just wanted to sell it. Now, I found this lead using my software Flipster. If you don't know, Flipster is a cloud-based, all-inclusive software that allows you to run your entire wholesaling and flipping business, including over 150 million motivated seller leads nationwide. To test drive Flipster for free, go to joinflipster.com for a 7-day free trial. Now on this lead, one of our VAs cold called the seller and she said she wanted to sell her distressed property for $50,000. So the phone call we're going to cut to in a minute is me calling her to close on the deal. And just so you know, $50,000 is a little more than I wanted to pay for all cash, but I would pay $50,000 if I could buy it with creative financing. Now keep in mind, creative financing such as subject to and seller financing are not just strategies used for long-term buy and hold. I use both these strategies for wholesaling and flipping. In fact, be sure to check out a video where I bought a house using subject to, then turned around and flipped it. It was a huge win because I didn't have to come up with all the cash to get into the deal. Now I'll put the link to that video in the description below and you can check it out later. My point is, creative financing is simply a way to get into deals and your exit could be whatever you decide. On this deal, you'll see that I'm analyzing the deal from a flipper's perspective, which is exactly the same approach as a wholesaler. The only difference is if I decide to wholesale the deal instead of keep it to fix and flip, I need a little bit more margin on the deal so that I can earn an assignment fee. Otherwise, the analysis is exactly the same. Now you have to look at deals from your ideal buyer's perspective. And just so you know, you can wholesale creative financing deals for a premium because your buyer can get into the deal with little to no money down, making your deal very attractive. Being able to structure creative financing deals opens so many doors for you. So to help you get better at creative financing, be sure to download my Creative Financing Hacks Guide. Now this explains 6 of the most powerful creative financing strategies. Best of all, I'll give it to you for free. Just go to creativefinancinghacks.com. One last thing before we cut to the live call. The way I position myself to make offers to sellers is very strategic. Everything I say is intentional. Every question I ask is designed for making the offer. So as I go through the call, I want you to pay special attention to not just what I say, but why. Ask yourself, why is Jerry asking that? Why is Jerry saying that? To help you understand what I'm doing, I added a lot of on-screen text during the conversation to highlight the questions I'm asking and the reasoning behind what I'm saying and why I'm doing that. And if you find it helpful to see videos where I don't just tell you, but show you how to do the business, leave a comment and say, Jerry, I love the Watch Me Live Call videos. You are a flipping genius. Okay, let's cut to the call.
Just tried to call.
Yeah. Thanks for calling me back. How are you doing today? I noticed that you had tried to sell this on market recently. It was listed for $68,000, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and what happened there? Was there not interest in the market, or did it fall through, or what?
There was a fair amount of interest. I'd wanted to get at least 60 out of it, and I didn't have interest at that price. It sort of sparked my interest again in doing some of the renovations myself again. and I've been working on it. And then I've just had more family stuff and whatever come up. And I was like, well, he's done a really good job following up with me. And, you know, if he still wants to do it, then, you know, it might make the most sense right now to go ahead and sell it.
Gotcha. So you had purchased it to renovate and flip. Was that what you were thinking? And then life got in the way, which, trust me, I know all about that. That life got in the way. Because you bought it in 2019, it looks like. Is that right?
Right. Yeah, I bought it back in 2019 to renovate, and then life just sort of got in the way, and a million and one other things. It became a priority over it. Because I have a full-time job, and then 2 kids, and a farm, and there's a lot of stuff going on.
Sure,
So,
sure. And it's a pretty big rehab. Like, that's not an easy one either.
Right. It's not just paint and carpet kind of deal.
Yeah,
So,
how much were you thinking it was going to cost to fix up? Did you have an idea?
I think it's going to end up being, without doing crazy finishes kind of deal, in the 40 to 50,000 range.
Okay.
And then the way the market's looking right now, you know, I think it's going to sell somewhere in the 140 to 160 range.
Okay.
It's a tricky area because if you go further up that street about 3 more blocks, and the neighborhood starts going down, and then the prices start going. But the area where it's in is actually still a really nice neighborhood.
Okay. I saw in the old write-up that you could convert a 4th bedroom.
Right. So there's currently 3 bedrooms on the 2nd floor. And then the 3rd floor is finished space, and there's actually a bathroom up there.
But it's got normal stairs that go up, but then it's like attic. It's like attic space.
So I have pictures of it. It is all finished space. It could either be like a really great rec area, or it could be another bedroom.
But that 2,200 square feet, is that counting that space?
I'm trying to remember. I think it might be.
Yeah,
It might be.
probably does, because 22 is pretty good size.
Right.
You said there's a bathroom up there as well?
Yes.
So that's one of the 3 on the 3rd floor, you're saying?
Yep, on the 3rd floor. It's got like a clawfoot tub and a sink and a toilet.
Come here.
Let's see. Funny, like every other measurement in the world.
Sorry, I got a sad 4-year-old. Stand right here. Stand up, stand up, stand up. I'm gonna hug you.
It's a really ideal spot to put a,
Come here. What's the matter?
to put a half bath in. And it's all over the basement. And so if you close that wall, it's sort of prevent.
So where are the other 2 baths? One on the 2nd floor with those 3 bedrooms, and then one on the main floor?
There are 2 bathrooms on the 2nd floor, and then the 3rd one is on the 3rd floor. It's like I'm putting you on here, and I apologize because I'm in an arcade. My kids are in spring break.
Well, I'm just trying to crunch all the numbers and make sure this pencils out. My thing would be probably to flip it, like fix and flip it is mostly what we do.
I get it, and it makes sense.
And you don't have any loans on it, right? Do you own it free and clear? Okay.
Right.
And are you looking to get cashed out completely? Would you consider like seller financing?
I hadn't really thought about it.
The only reason why I'm asking is I'm trying to get my rehab nailed down, and it is pretty extensive. Like if I go in and do all those bathrooms, try to finish the upstairs, you know, my concern is the roof needs a new roof. It looks like some of those rooms are leaking, like on the ceilings. The challenge is 50's kind of like might be a little tight just to build in everything, you know, including the rehab and just make sure I've got it. I want to make sure, I don't ever want to set up to fail, right? Like I want to make sure we got a good budget to do things right, and you got to plan for some unforeseens with old houses, always.
Sure.
But if there's a seller carry, then that's less cash outlay on the deal. And then that usually changes the numbers a bit. Like, you know, I can be more into the deal for more because of less cash outlay. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah, so for example, on something like this, if I did like, you know, I don't know, 10% down, paid a fair interest rate, and then of course I'll bring in the cash for the repairs. Once it's done and sells, then that lien, your lien would get paid off and you'd get the rest of the cash. In a way, it's kind of nice because you get some interest on it.
Sure. You know, do you have sort of a contract along those lines?
Yeah, I have a transaction, I call her a transaction coordinator. She's really great for this type of thing.
Okay.
Because I hate all the paperwork, right? But yeah, she would make sure it's all up and up. It gets recorded correctly at closing and all that.
Sure.
For sure. So in fact, seller finance is a lot easier. I do a lot of subject to where there's an existing loan where I take it over, you know, and those are a lot more tricky. So there'd be the promissory note, the mortgage or deed of trust. That would get recorded so your interest is protected. And then that's it. Pretty simple.
Okay.
And then what's great too is every dime I put into the house increases your equity position. So in the event I get hit by a bus, then you take back a property that has more value than before, right?
Sure.
So it's a pretty safe way to do it because I'll bring in the cash for the rehab.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, let me think about it.
Okay.
As I said, I hadn't really considered it before, but I'm not necessarily like closed off to that idea too.
Okay. Yeah, standard what I normally do would be like 10% down and then like a 6% interest rate.
Okay.
And then just to keep it simple, since it's a short-term loan, it would just be interest only. So we don't have to amortize it or whatever. And then I could either do like a monthly payment or let it accrue, and then the accrued interest and the principal get paid off at closing when I sell it.
Okay.
That would certainly make this a lot easier to put together because I'm kind of a little tight right now on.
Sure.
I think 50 is a good deal, but rehabbing those old houses is just kind of scary.
Sure.
It never goes how you think it's going to go.
Right.
You just don't know until you start tearing into an old house, and then you're like, whoa, I wasn't planning on that. I wasn't planning on that.
Right.
Part of the game, right?
Yeah, so let me think about it, and I'll let you know by this weekend on that one, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. If you could just get back to me in the next couple days, that'd be great. Thanks for spending time with me and walking me through the house.
Oh, sure. No,
Explaining things to me. I really appreciate that. Helps
Thanks
a lot.
for dealing with the arcade in the background, too.
Oh, well, I got it going on in my background, too, kids. So no worries.
So, all right.
Thanks.
Well, great. I'll talk to you.